Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're studying the productivity system of a company that didn't just build cars. Oh no. Instead, it's a company that built one of the most influential management philosophies forever and globally. This company is no other than Toyota. But behind all the manufacturing, hybrid cars, and lean operations is a productivity system, a system that is built on respect, discipline, and continuous thinking. And that's why this video looks at what is a productivity system, what are the benefits, what are the things that you could apply. This will come in the second video. And of course, very important as always, things that you need to adjust before trying out anything that Toyota does. Because once you know that, you can be even more unstoppable. And let's not wait any further and start right away with the first part. What is the productivity system of Toyota? And one thing that is very important is that Toyota's productivity system is built on lean principles, respect for people, and continuous improvement. Here's how the company operates at the high level. Point number one, Toyota uses the Toyota production system, TPS. And TPS is built on two pillars, just in time and Jidoka. But let me explain a bit more. What does it mean, just in time? It means for assembling one entire car, there are more than 10,000 items needed to put the car together. This means instead of ordering all car parts and have them on stock and use them whenever it's needed, no, Toyota really looks at how many items are needed for assembling how many cars and then orders it based on the specific need. The second pillar is Jidoka. This means automation with human judgment. And this empowers each employee to keep a closer eye on the quality of the product. And the combination of those two pillars, of course, it eliminates waste and increases quality. Doesn't that sound interesting? You focus only on what is needed specifically, and instead of just purely relying on automation, you also use human interaction to verify, does it make sense? Does it add value to our customers? Is it specifically what we needed for the product? And that's something very interesting to see already here, is that you rely on efficiency, but no, instead you also always add a touch of human interaction, human judgment in terms of making sure that the quality is good. That's something very interesting to do. Do you have some task where you think, okay, it's good to automate and just focus on the most important items, but still it's always better to check? Let me know in the comments. The second point is about Toyota practices Kaizen. This is continuous improvement. This means every employee at every level is encouraged to suggest improvements, fix problems, refine processes, and improvement is everyone's job. Isn't that interesting? So instead of others saying, yeah, I think it's the other person who has to make improvements, I'm just executing, I'm just operating whatever somebody tells me and I don't need to think, I just do. No, instead, this principle empowers every employee to think about what is currently happening. Are there any problems? Is there something to fix? Is there something that we can do even better? And they even have the encouragement to make those proposals. Isn't it amazing? So it means that actually whatever you're working on, you have a big contribution, because if you do something wrong at one part, no, you have a chance to make a change. You have a chance to improve the overall outcome for the company, and of course, management or people will see that you continuously have ideas and improvement the processes. Point number 3, which is Toyota eliminates waste ruthlessly. They focus on removing overproduction, waiting times, unnecessary movement, excess inventory, defects, and overprocessing. Because less waste, of course, is more efficiency. And that goes back to the very first point where we said this is part of their main pillar, to reduce anything that is not needed. And it makes sense, right? I mean, maybe you can relate to that. Sometimes you pack your luggage for going on holidays and you put as much as stuff possible in the luggage because you just don't know what specifically you need. And then you carry the luggage and it's just super heavy. The same thing applies for Toyota or any other company. If you just focus on what specifically is needed, it's going to be way lighter and easier and smoother and more efficient to operate. Because if you just cut out everything that you don't need on your vacation, yay, your luggage is going to be lighter, of course. And the same thing applies to a company. So when producing the car, you look at what is the most important item. And instead of having a lot of waste when cutting out a fabric for the seat, you focus on maximizing the space available so that you can reuse the resources more efficiently. And of course, you have less waste, because also taking care of the waste, us again, costs money. And here Toyota really thinks about what is the most efficient way. Point number 4, Toyota empowers frontline workers. Workers can stop the production line if something is wrong. This is called the ending cord. And here also you provide quality, but also at a speed level. For example, you can imagine this ending cord is next to the production line. So when employees see something is not right, they can pull the ending cord and production stops. So you can see already that Toyota places a lot of attention, focus on empowering the employees to not only rely on automation systems and to rely, okay, the production line is going to take care of it for me and I just wait and see what happens. Oh no, not at Toyota. They empower their employees to keep a close eye on what's happening and make sure that the quality, the output of the final product is what Toyota stands for. The positive thing of this is that it empowers employees because they know no longer it's just, okay, I do whatever I'm needed. No, they know I need to pay close attention because if I mess up, it might have a negative impact on the product in the end. It's interesting, right? Point number 5, Toyota uses Genshi Genbutsu. This means go and see for yourself. Leaders visit the floor. Managers observe problems directly, because reality beats assumptions. And that's something very powerful. Instead of having managers sitting in the high tower and just looking at data, discussing what can be the next level, no, they say to everybody in the company, go and have a look for yourself. See what is the current situation before you make any assumptions. It means it tells people you can make assumptions, but instead of just build your next steps on the assumptions, go and have a look for yourself. Look at what is the problem, what is the real problem. You might have an assumption, but look at what's happening underneath the surface. So that's something you can definitely take away from Toyota. When you see that there is a problem, just don't assume, okay, this might be the reason. Go there directly and have a look. What is the reason? Because once this is clear for you, what specifically is the reason, you know exactly what you need to do. Because if you just make assumptions, you might patch up something, you might patch up something that isn't really the root cause of the entire problem. But by just going there and having a look and investigating a bit, what is the real cause, you can find better measures to solve and fix the issues and propose something that is massively value adding for the stakeholders involved. Point number 6, Toyota uses standardized work. This means clear steps, clear roads, clear expectation. Standardization, it creates consistency. And of course, by having the specific routines, it also helps again people to focus more on improvements because every step is clear. There is no thinking, okay, should I really do this step or that step or this step? I don't know. No, instead, everything is clear as to what needs to be done, where, at what time, so that you can really focus on executing everything. But while you execute everything, you still have time to think about, is this the best way? Is there something that needs to be improved? And you can see here, using routines is a powerful way to really make sure that you can focus on the other value-adding tasks. Point number 7. Toyota uses visual management. For example, charts, boards, color coding, and visuals, they make problems obvious. So here is a nice example as to how you can design your work environment. You can use specific visuals to highlight something important. You can use signs to indicate attention, you need to pay attention here, or whatever is the need. But also one thing that Toyota does is they use past stories in order to define what could be future problems and to look specifically at this case in order to learn and make improvements for the future. So what can we take away from here is that specifically whenever you hand over some task, think about, is this clearly communicating what I want to see? Can people visually already see what this is about? And can they take from the story that I'm sharing here, is this helpful for refining future processes or identifying possible bottlenecks? Last but not least, point number 8, Toyota builds long-term partnerships. Suppliers are treated as collaborators and not as vendors because the trust, it increases quality. Imagine this, Toyota, they already work with their partners for many different years and also with a mutual basis of respect, meaning also that when you work with each other, literally, as the name says, stakeholders, every vendor has a stake in doing business with Toyota, because if the quality is good, there's going to be more orders coming from Toyota and vice versa. So you can see here is that when you build strong relationships with your partners, it can be a good way to make sure that the quality you're providing is upholding specific standards. As you can see, Toyota's system, it is not chaotic. Oh, no. Instead, it is disciplined, it is human-centered and relentlessly focused on improvement. Now we looked at what is Toyota's productivity system, but it gets interesting now because we're going to have a look at what are the benefits. And the good thing is this system, it works for Toyota because it is built on their identity, their main pillars, which is about continuous improvement, but also mutual respect to resources, but also people working with the company. Then let's have a look at benefit number 4. Four? No, this is not 4. Luisa, come on, this is a 1. Let's have a look at benefit number 1, high reliability. Toyota's cars, they last because their processes are consistent. As we've seen before in the productivity system, everything is well structured. There are rules, there are processes, it's clear for everybody what needs to be done. Meaning if a new person comes into the production line, they know exactly what they need to do and they don't have this kind of learning curve with at the beginning not knowing much, but then over time mastering it. No, it is clear for them what steps they need to do. And of course it smoothens a bit the learning curve, which of course in the end can improve the quality. And of course, as Toyota empowers people to say if something is not working, to stop the production line, of course, here you can be sure that the quality can be ensured or even increased. Benefit number 2, low waste. Lean thinking, it reduces costs and increases efficiency. Because this continuous improvement mindset, it is focused on maximizing customer value while systematically minimizing waste. As we saw in the example before, employees, workers, they are entitled to pull the end in court if the quality is not assured or if there's a problem with the production. They can pull the end in court and stop right away the production process. And by making this step, of course, you can reduce waste. You can reduce multiple items, millions, whatever, thousands items that are wrongly produced. Which actually already brings me to benefit number 3, which is about empowered employees. Because those frontline workers, they have real authority. Imagine if they weren't to take their authority, it might just feel like, okay, I'm executing something. I don't care, whatever is the output, meh. But if you give this authority to people, you tell them you are responsible for making sure that the quality is right. Of course, you have more attention to detail because you want to be sure that you can do your best and show the quality you're standing for. So of course, they're paying more attention to what's happening on the production line and of course, pull the cord. Benefit number 4, continuous improvement. This Kaizen ensures the company never stagnates. Because if you continuously tell your employees, please always think of ways how we can improve. What are the problems that we need to fix and what are possible solutions? Of course, you empower everybody but most importantly, you give everyone an opportunity to shape the company as it is right now, to shape the processes they're working on, to shape the environment they're in. Because they, for example, might be able to say, I think the culture here right now could be improved in this and that way so that everybody is more encouraged to bring in new ideas, for example. And this kind of openness, this possibility for creating opportunities, for sharing improvements is a good way to get everybody aligned on the same goal, because it's no longer about, okay, I do my job, I do whatever I'm told to, okay. No, I have a chance to shape the output. I have a chance to increase the quality of the company. I have a chance to shape my own future destiny. Benefit number 5, strong long-term partnerships. Because this trust, it creates stability. Because of course, if you have a mutual agreement, respect with your partners, you nurture this relationship, you work with them over several years together, you make sure that your expectations are clear and the partners, they also deliver on those things. You have a win-win situation for everything. And as Toyota focuses on those win-win situations, it helps them to create a stability. Because for example, when there was in 2021, after the pandemic, there was a problem with the production of microchips. But because Toyota had a good relationship with their stakeholders, it was easier for them to get all the materials needed in order to produce the cars in time as it was needed. And you can see here specifically, having a strong relationship with your partners can be very helpful, because especially they know they've been working with you for many years. They know what kind of quality standards you have. And of course, they know the way of working. And of course, most important, they know that if everything goes well, they're going to get more business. As you can see, Toyota's system is not about speed. It's about discipline, clarity, and continuous refinement. And here we are already at the end of the first part of looking into Toyota's productivity system. But we're not stopping here, because in the next video, we're looking at the things that you could apply, and of course things that you need to adjust before trying out anything that Toyota does. So stay tuned, and in the meantime, let me know in the comments which points you liked, which things you might adapt in your own routine, and let me know how this turned out. I'm curious to hear and speak to you soon. And as always, remember to subscribe to the channel so that you can hear more of those stories. Bye! And that's why this video Lydio, have you met Lydio? No, but it's a video, so just cut it out. Got that? Thank you.